Hello, folks. Welcome to the verbal debate on TV. We call it Crosstalk. And this is, of course, Enterprise TV. So, two debating sides will come to the fore, just so you make up your mind. Today is a second coming, is a second Trump coming, what America needs. Is a second Trump coming, or is a Trump second coming what America needs now? It's election time in America again, and it appears to be a two-horse race between incumbent President Joe Biden and one-time President Donald Trump. The build-up to the November election in America includes the presidential debate, the first round of which ended days ago. The popular opinion suggests that Donald Trump won that debate, but die-in-the-wool Democrats are not persuaded by the verdict. Even so, it puts the Democratic Party in a quandary of sorts. Is Donald Trump the man for the job, and are Americans at home with this development? Therefore, would Trump's second coming be favorable to Africa? Let's have a debate. I have to my right the unassuming Tochukwu Ezukama. Tochukwu is a town planner by training, but he doubles as a public affairs analyst. Tochukwu, I welcome you.
Thank you so very much, Jones.
To my left is the counter voice, and that of Cyril Abaku, broadcaster, communications expert. Cyril, I welcome you.
Thank you very much, Citizen Jones.
So, gentlemen, it's appearing by the day to be that Trump might nick the presidency come November 2024. And we're wondering if Africa is watching.
Well, I do hope that Africa is watching indeed, because this is a president who clearly will tell them the truth in their faces and say, you guys are better stay back in your country, developing your continent. If you can brave the weather, brave the tide, brave the odds, fight away to America, why can't you stay back in your country?
Play by the rules.
Yes, and play by the rules. Why can't you stay back in your countries and risk everything for justice and entrench a better society? Because Americans at a point were perhaps even worse than where we are today in Africa or in Nigeria. But this was this is a country where people sat back and paid the difficult price to make their country what it has become today. So clearly, if Trump went to the White House, Africa watching, of course, Africans are watching. They may not like his guts, they may not like his approach to things, but clearly he's a man who, in whose mouth the truth will not be lacking.
Tochukwu, a Trump second coming.
Well, a Trump second coming will be bad for the U.S., bad for Africa, and I think bad for the whole world. You can argue that Africans should stay back in Africa and brave the challenges of fighting for justice. Because as you cross the Sahara Desert, as you cross the Mediterranean Sea trying to get to Europe, people pay a lot of price, most of the times, not most, sometimes with their lives. Why don't you take the same risk in your own country? That's an applicable question, a reasonable question.
Yes.
But the thing is that we have always known that in every country we have the passive, the active, the destructive, and the constructive. During the days of racial inequality in the U.S.,
riots and all
yes, some black Americans stood their grounds and fought for racial justice. Some left to Canada where there was less racism. In wars, some young men volunteered to fight. Some die in the process. Some run away and go and hide. But they all remain citizens of the country. So every African cannot join in the struggle for social justice and equity in Africa. So those that choose to remain and go for justice and equity, that's wonderful. Those that want to run to the US or Europe, that's also wonderful. The world is a global village. And it's the Americans and the Europeans that made it so. So if you say we are now one, we belong to one village, what stopped me from taking a walk around my village? So you can cross to wherever, live wherever.
So for you, Trump is not the man for this
at
moment.
all.
No, Trump more than is the man for the moment, because you ask yourself, what is the alternative? I don't envy Mr. Ezekwesili's position today. If your answer to Trump not being president is Joe Biden, you can have enough of Biden. I mean, you can have Biden all you want. The president who we still can't understand how he performed in the last debate. He said he had the sore throat, but we were struggling to understand even what he was saying. So much so that Trump even had to begin to mellow down to say, is this man president or not? After the debate, Mr. Biden was helped off stage. So you know that you don't want a country without
Yes, sir, but President Biden is an 81-year-old man.
If he's that advanced,
so he's aged.
Yes, if he's aged, should he run for the most important office in the world? I don't think that's what he should be doing right now. I think he should be thinking of going home to his family, having good time with his grandchildren, and so on and so forth. Yeah, that's one. Then number two is the fact, Trump. What does Trump represent? If Trump had been American president, Hamas wouldn't have attacked Gaza.
That's what he said. Is that what you know or what he said?
It's like, I have my right to my opinion. If Trump had been president, Putin would have been messing with Ukraine the way he's doing today. If Trump had been president, Iran wouldn't have been firing those 300 missiles they fired on Israel. Clearly, the world knows when a weak man is in the White House. And that's what they've done. Almost all of America's enemies are cashing in one way or the other, spitting in Biden's face, spitting in America's face. We know that if Trump had been in office, this wouldn't be happening.
Tochukwu, so strength is the word here.
Strength
and Trump represents that.
No, America already is a very powerful country. The strength of America is evident. And I think there's danger in reckless use of American power or strength. And that's what Trump represents. Because you can...
Are you in any way enamored of what happened between Trump's first coming and the rocket man in North Korea?
Yeah, he was pandering to the rocket man in North Korea. He made the rocket man his friend. He made Putin his friend. He likes dictators. He denounces democracy and wishes he can turn America into a dictatorship. The thing with debates is that debate is more of glamorization, showmanship. But it takes more than debate to rule a country. Some people are wonderful with their speeches, with their deportment, but will make terrible leaders. Biden may have done badly in debate, but that does not in any way take away from what Biden is or what Biden have done over the years. Trump is talking about if I were in power, Hamas wouldn't have attacked Israel. That's baloney because baloney, yeah, that is it's pre-election talk that has no relevance in governance, because when Trump was there, terrorists were active across the globe. Why didn't his president and
you don't know that for a fact. It was Trump that bombed the Iranian general.
Reagan bombed Libya.
Yes.
There's always been bombing across the world.
Soleimani, yes.
General Soleimani,
yes.
Which raised the Iranians.
And apart from that, it was Trump in that difficult global milieu that also bombed places in Syria. It's not reckless. It is about calling nations to order. A world without order, a world without structure, a world
without leadership. But hold on. Let's go back to the Reagan presidency. Before Reagan was inaugurated, there had been this stand-up between America and Iran over the hostages. The moment Reagan was installed, the hostages were released.
The world knows the difference between a democratic president and a Republican president. Believe me, you can accuse Republicans of spending less on the military. But you can't accuse them of not using the military effectively because they know how to whip nations that have gone mad into line. They know when power is active. They know. Imagine Obama going to have discussion with the Iranians as okay, use atoms up. Do you know that when the Iranian atomic program was begun by America actually under Dwight Eisenhower?
But what is wrong with Iran having its nuclear program? America has its own, India has its own, Pakistan has its own, Israel has its own. Iran is a sovereign nation.
What does Iran represent? What does Iran represent?
Iran represents
what does Iran represent?
Nothing negative.
It is this kind of democratic thinking.
Israel and its terrorism.
It is this democratic kind of thinking.
Israel
I don't have the world to have peace.
No. And it's not terrorism.
Cyril, just a minute. Cyril, but the world remembers FDR came to head America in difficult times. But he made a meal of it.
The most of it, in fact, it was FDR that commissioned the Los Alamos project, today known as the Manhattan Project, also, that had Dr. Robert Oppenheimer.
You know that FDR was crippled.
Of course, he was in a chair.
From a wheelchair.
Yes.
So talking about Biden's health, it's not very relevant.
No, the mind of the man is not better than his body.
No.
Did you watch Biden?
American mind.
Did you? He said America had 1,000 trillionaires.
Wilson, the president, Wilson,
yes,
was paralyzed.
Yes,
couldn't function.
Yes.
The system functioned.
His mind was active. Are you advocating not having?
A man has stroke repeatedly. How can somebody have repeated attacks, bouts?
His mind was active,
and then his mind remains active.
Are you advocating that we have presidents who don't know what they're doing in office? Oh
in
my
a
goodness.
country like Nigeria,
how does it then say when he's on a phone call to Putin or phone call to another president or anybody like that,
or to the rocket man in
a country like Nigeria?
Yes.
The president is everything. Is the fact that everything revolves around him. In America, you have institutions.
But foreign policy is on the president's desk. I'm asking, the nuclear football is in the president's hand.
Yes, there are many.
And he does not know what he's doing.
In America, you have institutions, and these institutions cannot operate.
Serious, but
not a very well.
If Biden gets that weak, the system in America will checkmate him.
Of course.
He can't pull the trigger.
If he is that weak, how has he has done a good job in the last almost 4 years. And he can continue with his good job for 4 more years.
You want Biden back in the White House. Even his party, the CNN, New York Times are all calling for the man to step down. As I speak to you today, the Democratic National Convention is trying to get a replacement for him.
And what
and you see that American voters will leave Biden, will Trump and vote for Biden.
That's their choice.
You think that's Algeria? It's not. It is in Algeria that they elect a man who can barely even take out of office. They just bring him in 1 million hours and take him and say
mine is this: Africa has enough dictators. Might I mention the man next door,
Cameroon,
Uganda,
yes,
Congo Democratic Republic,
even Egypt is a dictatorship.
Good. So if a dictator occupies the White House, would we be okay?
The American system actually functions when you say the American system functions in a way that the president doesn't have to personally authorize several things before they can.
Oh, now you're making my case.
But what we are saying is that the American president is the face of America to the world.
Yes.
He's on the phone to President Tinubu and he says, "Hey, Mr. President, how are you doing?" "I'm fine, sir." Then for another 4 minutes he's quiet.
The face of America.
Mr. President. He said, yeah. America has 1,000 trillion years. Where did that come from?
The face of America to the world. And what is wrong with a man in his 80s not being too healthy? Every human being understands it. A man of 80 years has his...
Does that not even obey the very law he sought to uphold as president?
No.
To say that I will govern America to the best of my ability, and his ability is good enough. What do you say about that?
Law to stop you. It should be the law of a convict
May I say this? Citizen Jones.
What
May I say this?
Someone convicted of felony coming to power, not the law of aging grace.
Before, the moment the president lacked capacity to continue in office,
hold on. But we remember that in America's history, Ronald Reagan became the oldest president at the time.
Back then, yes.
At the time.
Yes.
But it didn't matter.
Look, because his mind. See what he said, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Yes.
That's the man who was in his right mind and capable of delivering office. Look at Biden today. Before the debate of a few days ago, you know that they had lightened up the president's schedule. They wanted him to rest, maybe sleep enough.
What's wrong with that?
Wait, I'm just telling you. And after all the help that they gave him to rest and relax, he came to the debate. Did you watch the debate, sir?
Part of it, yes.
I saw a part of it.
Badly.
Yeah.
He started
You don't mind him being in the White House.
No, he's been in the White House already.
You don't mind him going back to the White House?
He's been in the White House already. So it's not somebody applying for the White House for the first time and you're saying, well, we don't know what to expect. Already he's been there and we know what to expect. He has not done a
This was a man.
He has not gone around the world
whose own boss,
bombing
Obama
people,
Biden,
calling them terrorists.
Obama picked Biden to make him vice president.
He was vice president.
8 years after, Biden said he wanted to run for office.
Yes.
You know what Obama told him? He said, Joe, you don't have to do this. Because Obama understands that his deputy wasn't the best of men, wasn't as strong enough as we thought he was. It is clear, head or not, this is a man on whose watch Russia is without restraint. Terrorist
Russia
groups,
did what?
Russia is unrestrained. Okay. Terrorist groups are unrestrained. Iran is fine from all cylinders. All the groups that before now have thrown caution to the wind.
Would you rather hold on. Would you rather a man who puts the world on tenterhooks occupy the White House, especially at this time?
I'd rather a man.
Anything is possible.
I'd rather a man whom the world fears and understands that he is indeed in charge of America.
Is the word fear?
Should you fear the president?
That's the question. The word fear, I have issues with. Trump from day one is a crook. Trump from day one he was a real estate developer.
34 counts against him. Yeah. He was indicted on all counts.
When he was as a real estate developer, he gave those lenders, those bankers, a run for the money. The way he manipulated the daylight out of
what was evidence about these claims?
No, these are known facts now.
Please. But don't come here to run down a candidate who in his own right to run for American president. For your information, he's been president before. You see why I go with Trump? The reason is very simple, sir.
But not criminal.
The pro-abortion groups, LGBTQ, that are anti-humanistic. This is a candidate who will stand firm and say, on American values, not on important values.
No.
Not on values of the pit of hell. Trump will protect the evangelical core of American creed, and that for me matters.
The thing about abortion and LGBTQ, that's what you call it.
Yes.
Is about the mood of the people.
The homosexual agitators of America.
No, the mood of the people. There will always be abortion. A girl of 13, 14 might have had so much about the thrill or whatever about sex and try to see what is this all about and get pregnant. Will you allow a girl of 13 to have a child, disrupt her future? So there might be need for
why don't
a child having a child?
Why don't we allow the doctors to tell you that?
I'm coming. So it is for the parents because the girl is underage.
No, seriously. Malcolm X said it doesn't matter who commits it. What's wrong is wrong.
Yes.
What's right is right.
So let us allow the doctors be the one.
It's not about having an abortion or not having an abortion, but who decides? It's about me.
To take a life. To take a life is to take a life. No. American values, core American values are drawn from the Bible, not from
existence. An unborn child has no separate existence. If you kill a pregnant woman, the law will not hold you responsible for killing 2 persons. You only killed 1 person. So, and it's left.
The law according to the Nigeria, America.
The law everywhere in the world.
No, but I mean,
most of the laws.
Can you cite the relevant section, sir? Because the way you are going with the whole thing,
So, all right.
It's the American.
Gentlemen, let's regulate this thing at the end.
Yes.
As we started. Yes. Cyril, in 60 seconds, is it possible to drive home your point?
It is.
Is a second coming of Trump what America needs now?
Yes, because whatever you want to hold against Mr. Trump, if he's not breaking any law, if he's being pan-American, if he was being nationalistic, if he was up to serve America, I think that's the reason Americans will vote for him, because they will see him as a president and as a leader with whose presence they will know that as who is in charge and whose leadership America's interests will be strongly protected.
A man who came the first time and he was responsible, so they say, for storming the Capitol on January 6th.
A man in whose presidency Americans had more jobs than people that could take them. I like to put it that way.
All right. Tochukwu, how do you bury this in 60 seconds?
The thing about Trump.
A second coming of Trump what Americans need now?
No. Trump is a crook. Trump is arrogant. And Trump has been convicted. He likes dictatorship. And what he did at the Congress, at the National Assembly, was similar to the Vikings. The Vikings were some wild tribe that raided Europe, okay? It was like the destruction of the Vikings. So a crook, his antecedents as a businessman shows that arrogance. He talks to other people from other countries as though they are not human beings, worthy of any respect or treatment or civil treatment, to be treated with civility. We know of his conviction. He likes dictators and sees the whole democratic process as a waste of time or some kind of restraint or inhibition to his ability to do what he wants to do. And that invasion of the House, because when his vice president was trying to follow the necessary procedures for handing over, he was there haranguing the man that is being a traitor, that is betraying him. So it's all about him, his ability to do what he wants or nothing else. He will be a dangerous leader, like Mrs. Clinton once said. He is dangerously incoherent. So I'm bringing him with his dangerous.
All right, let's apply.
One more time will be a big problem.
Okay, let's apply the brakes here. But I dare say, gentlemen, that the Americans in this matter have the final say. Sure. So wait until election day.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Tochukwu Izukama, for your time.
You're welcome.
No less so, Cyril Abaku. Thank you too.
Thank you.
All right, the debate, let it continue. Does Trump merit a second coming as America's #1 citizen? The coming months will tell. I'm out of here. We'll see you again. Bye-bye now. Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.